In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons to not pick up the Motorola Razr 2026 edition. Now, as you guys seen in my past videos on this device, I explicitly stated that I really do enjoy this device, and that is the 100% God honest truth. I really do like this device overall. And honestly, these cons or these reasons not to buy are not going to be the defining factor, honestly, in my decision to not pick up this phone. Because even with these cons, or even with these things that I think are, not the greatest in the world, I still think this phone is a good buy overall. And I'm going to talk about why in a second, but let's go ahead and get this started. First and foremost, I'd have to say the processor isn't the greatest in the world. As you guys know, we have the MediaTek Dimensity 7450X chip inside of here. This device handles regular tasks daily, but it does struggle significantly with heavy multitasking and demand graphics compared to flagship chips. So if you guys are looking for a processor that's going to be able to, edit 4K videos, edit 4K photos in Lightroom, or 8K photos in Lightroom, or raw images like that in Lightroom, and do crazy Photoshop work on, or play crazy graphic intensive games on the highest possible graphical settings, you may want something a little bit more than this. You may want something like the Galaxy S25 Plus or the S26, where you're going to spend near $800 for. You're going to get a lot more out of a Snapdragon flagship processor than you are going to get with the MediaTek Dimensity 7450X. This is more of a mid-range or upper mid-range processor inside this device, so it's not going to offer that peak performance when it comes to the chipset. So if you guys are looking for something a little bit better than this, then definitely go for that. But the majority of people that are going to pick up this device, they're going to pick it up because they like the form factor of this. They're not doing 4K video editing. They're not, trying to play a crazy high graphic intensive game on the highest graphic settings and frame rate possible. They just want something that's a little bit cooler. They may do some light gaming. They may watch some videos, scroll social media, do some texting and phone calls. This is going to be totally good for that. And even playing, high-end graphic intensive games, if you're not playing them at the highest level, this is going to be able to handle games like Genshin Impact and Call of Duty Mobile just fine. So if you're needing something a little bit more powerful, this may not be the phone for you, but for all intents and purposes, for the majority of people, 99% of people out there, this is going to be totally enough of a chipset for them to do their daily routine and tasks on. Next con about this device definitely has to be the speakers on this. They honestly do not sound that good. I was hoping for a much better speaker or listening experience on this device. Of course, when you put your Bluetooth headphones on, all of this changes. So if you are usually privately viewing videos or watching content on social media with your earbuds in, this is not going to be an issue whatsoever. But in general, I was hoping for better speakers on this device. They do sound a bit tinny at times, and honestly, they aren't the loudest in the world, but they do offer a decent listening experience to the average viewer. So majority of people are going to be totally fine with this. I don't know if it's my unit or not. It just sounds a little bit tinny to me, but most people are going to be entirely fine with these speakers on this device. I am very nitpicky when it comes to phones because I review so many, so I know the difference between a good speaker and a bad one. And this one is just kind of in the middle. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just not what I was expecting out of an $800 phone. And that brings us into our next con. There was a price hike from last year's $699 Motorola Razr 2025 edition to now $799 on the 2026 variant of this device. So that's one of the things I really don't like, is that there was a $100 price increase on this device. Obviously, a lot of people were talking about this on social media and on YouTube. Totally don't agree with it. With the way the world's going right now, with constant inflation and economic crisis happening, of course, it was imminent and it was inevitable that we were going to see a price hike on this device. So it's not that $699 device anymore that everybody loved and wanted. It's $799 now. But still, that does not take away that this is a good phone. And even more so, when it comes to Motorola devices and it comes to these devices, when sales happen, for back to school day and, holiday sales like Halloween sales or, Cyber Monday sales or Black Friday sales, you're probably going to be seeing this device at even under $700. So you're probably going to be seeing this sometime in November at around $500. And of course, when it comes to those carriers out there, they're going to be immense amount of deals everywhere, from T-Mobile to Verizon Wireless offering this phone probably for free. Even at prepaid companies like Metro by T-Mobile, you're probably going to see this heavily discounted. So if you're not willing to cough up the $800 that this phone demands right now, you can be sure that this is going to go on sale later on during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So definitely keep that in mind, that this device is a hefty price tag right now, but it is going to see some steep discounts later on in the year after we get out of this summer season. But those are all the cons or reasons not to buy this device I've seen so far, and honestly all of those still don't scare me. I really still do like this device. It has a sturdy design, it has a beautiful back cover and front cover. It has great real-life functionality, even with the 3.6-inch foldable screen on this. It offers a great battery life, a solid chipset inside of here, and a great build and software experience overall. It isn't going to be 7 years of operating system updates like Google or Samsung does, but even with 3 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches, I still think if you want the Motorola experience, the Moto Actions, and the near vanilla Android, stock Android experience on this, you're going to be very, very happy with this device.